For many years now, Russ and Craig have had many wide-ranging conversations with folks from all over the gaming world. This is one of those conversations.
D6G, the Lost Chapter.
All right, Craig, the pumpkin spice latte has returned, my friend.
Yeah, I'm aware.
So, PSL
You know who can make a mean? You know who can make a mean pumpkin spice latte?
Who?
Superion.
Yes. Well, I am excited for that. Here we are, Dunkin' Donuts again. Just you and I. And Craig, the fall. Speaking of fall and the pumpkin spice latte, that also means, although it's not as meaningful as it used to be, quite frankly, fall TV shows are coming up.
That's right. It used to be the be-all and the end-all, Russ.
It used to be the only time for new television. Now
every season we got new shows.
But it's still a pretty significant thing. So I thought it might be fun while we're sitting here I'm enjoying a pumpkin spice latte. What are you having, sir?
Well, I have a confession to make, Russ. On my way over here, I actually got a soft-serve vanilla ice cream cone from McDonald's because I'm clinging to summertime.
There you go. I think that's
so. I'm just having a coffee.
I do. There's a really good ice cream place here called Hayward's in South Nashua.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's delicious.
And in the fall, they have a flavor called Southern Apple Pie that is, quite frankly, the king of all ice cream flavors, in my opinion. And they only offer it in the fall, so you have to get there between September and when they close, and that's it. It's my favorite flavor, and it's dangerous though because I can justify having it too often because it's so rarely available. So that's a problem.
Right. Yep.
So let's talk about this. We were looking here and seeing what shows are coming out that we're excited about.
Yeah.
So things that are kicking off soon. So Craig, of course, the new. Now, are you following this new series, Fear the Walking Dead?
Well, wait though, because credit where credit is due.
Right, sure.
We're using genderbiasreviews.com.
Yes, right.
For this
high
list.
Quality,
now,
yes.
I scrolled to the top with every intention of giving them a shout out, and then saw the name and thought,
there's nothing wrong with that.
What has Russ steered me towards?
No, they're just being honest about the fact that you are
gender biased reviews.
Every reporter is biased, and they're just acknowledging that they're biased based on their gender.
They're just straight up.
And this particular article, which you should read if you're going to go to Gender Bias Review, check out. It's called A Geek's Guide to Returning TV Shows in the Fall. Right? Yeah. So it's got the complete list. So if you're wondering when your favorite show is coming back, go check out their website. So we're looking at this list, and Craig, you watch American Horror Story?
No, I do not. I'm not a big horror guy.
We'll skip that. We don't want to. But what about Fear the Walking Dead? So are you interested?
Fear the Walking Dead I gave up seasons ago.
Right, so we don't care about that? Why did you not like that? I don't like Walking Dead, but you did.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, Walking Dead itself has kind of waned in my mind. Bunch of stuff is going on. I don't have as much TV time as I used to as schedules change, and I'm sure you know what that's like when kids go from they've got a really early bedtime and they pretty much go to your schedule to all of a sudden there's all kinds of practices and games and play dates and they're staying up later and. My TV watching time for geeky things is very limited now, and I just have to start cutting. And Fear the Walking Dead was one of the first things, and it wasn't any real. Well, I mean, it was kind of redundant. I loved the concept to the point where I have that like Walking Dead miniatures game table that I sort of based on Fear the Walking Dead because it's sort of like that, California seacoast kind of table.
Right.
But yeah, the game, the show itself just wasn't that compelling. Maybe it's because I'm a teacher, so the main characters being a teacher and a guidance counselor really didn't cut it for me. I don't know. Yeah, but I stopped watching it ages ago. So September 10th, Sunday, September 10th is not going to be that big a day for me, other than in the first day of rehearsals for the new play. But other than that, no, not for Fear the Walking Dead.
Right. Now,
but the next one, Russ, is one that you got me latched on to.
I know. So The Good Place returns September 20th, and that is a huge favorite in my family. We all got addicted to this show. This is the show where folks have died and gone to heaven. It's one woman in particular, and she determines she's there by mistake somehow, and the entire first season is her trying to fit into heaven where she clearly believes she doesn't belong. And There's some great twists. It's hilariously well done show. With Ted Danson as sort of the main sort of architect of heaven there, and it's just a really great show. Really cool twists at the end. So looking forward to this season, Craig. Are you? I love
the tagline. The tagline for this season is "How long can they keep this up?"
Right. It's great. I thought, and the funny thing was, like, we watched one episode and we were kind of like, could be good, and then it's one of those shows. The more time you give it, the better it gets.
Yeah.
And it operates on a level that takes you a little while to get there, and then all of a sudden, like, oh, this is fun. So we're really enjoying that. Can't wait for that to come back. Let's see. The other one starting is Channel Zero, which is not a show. That's a horror show again, so I'm going to skip that one. Yeah. Now, Craig, Gotham comes back September 21st. Are you a Gotham fan?
Yeah. No, I know you are, but yeah. I tried, and again, that schedule's tight, and it just didn't make the cut.
Yeah, so I love Gotham. Nicole and I watch it regularly. We're all caught up. This show is all about the DC villains, Batman's villains, really. Batman, again, is a kid, so Bruce Wayne is a young boy. Has not made the transition to Batman yet. It's really all about the villains. The Riddler's an adult. Jim Gordon is a young, essentially beat cop, working his way up in the thing. And a bunch of different things happening there. But it's really about the Penguin and the Riddler. The actors that play those characters are fantastic. Really, really like Gotham. So if you like villains, this is the show for you. I think it's the best DC show out there right now. Just like Lego Batman is the best DC movie ever made, Gotham is the best DC TV show ever made.
Right.
Craig, did you ever watch Big Bang Theory? You never really got into that, did you?
No, I don't enjoy the Big Bang Theory. I don't get most of the jokes, and the rest of it I find condescending. So no.
So I used to love it. Nicole and I used to watch it very, very regularly. It was one of our favorite shows up until about 2 or 3 years ago. I guess season 8, season 9, and I think somewhere around season 7, season 8, it became not a show about geeks anymore.
Yeah,
and it became a show about. It became more like Friends. It just became a show about the relationships that had formed, which is fine. But
just not what you were watching.
Yeah, originally it was about. I mean, there's still nerd culture references there, but they're not as well done as they used to be, I think. And they almost feel like afterthoughts as opposed to what the show's about. So I kind of, and it could just be that there's only so many years of nerd jokes you can write before
that could be.
It reached critical mass. I don't know, but so if you're a listener and you still like Big Bang Theory, let me know, because it's the kind of show I think I should like, but I fell out of love with it, I guess. But I guess it's still going. Season 11. Holy cow. Man,
that's a lot of seasons.
Let's see. Have you been watching Scorpion at all, Craig? I don't know what that is.
No, I know nothing about Scorpion.
Don't watch that one. Lethal Weapon. I tried Lethal Weapon, made it for one episode. We're in season 2 now. I didn't like it. Did you watch Lethal Weapon at all?
No. 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 That's it. I got nothing.
Well, the problem I had with Lethal Weapon was just the movies were so great, and again, I'm old enough to remember them.
Yep.
That you can't switch those actors out and me be okay with it. Not that the new guys aren't good. It's just I want them to be. They're not the movie people. Yeah. Craig, do you watch You like the Blacklist, don't you?
I do like the Blacklist. We just actually, Russ, this is funny. You'll like this. We just cut the cable.
Oh, you did
at our house. Yeah. Unfortunately, nobody told me because it was the week I was up at the hospital with my dad, and Karen did it thinking that it would relax me because I would come home to a new system and it would all be done. I wouldn't be there for the transition. But what that meant was I wasn't there to tell her I had 11 episodes of last season's Blacklist still on the DVR.
Oh, no.
So I'm sure I can go find it somewhere, but it's a much more difficult task than just, going onto my DVR and clicking watch. So I like the Blacklist. I was only halfway through last season, so it's a little daunting to think that just a couple weeks from now the next season is going to start, and I don't see myself being able to finish the last season anytime in the near future. So unfortunately, I don't even know if it's any good now. Who knows?
All right. So here is So you just gave me a great idea for App of the App. I'm going to give you the tip now, and any Patreon listeners will get this early too. There is an app that you want to get for your iPhone or your Android phone, and this app is called Just Watch. One word, Just Watch. You go into Just Watch, and you can search for any show, like The Blacklist. Okay, so I'll type that in.
Okay, yep.
The show comes up in this app, and it tells you all the streaming services and other services you can find the show on.
Oh, wow.
So, for example, there are 3 seasons available on Netflix right now. You can buy all 4 seasons on Amazon or iTunes or Vudu or PlayStation or Microsoft. So if you have Netflix, 3 of the seasons you can watch for free, and you can buy them by the episode from the other services. There you go.
Oh, cool.
So it's a very handy way to find them.
Sadly, I had them all and didn't have to buy them, but now I might have.
Yeah, that's a shame. But that's a great app for that kind of thing.
That
you can
sounds like a great
find
app.
out. Yep. Let's see. So Blacklist, you like that one? I'll have to try that out. You recommended it to me, and I keep not watching it. I should go do that. Let's see. I tried the new MacGyver. Couldn't do it.
I would never be able to.
I did like the original. The Exorcist is a horror. Don't like that. Z Nation Zombies. Don't need that. I
have heard great things about Z Nation, but I haven't watched it.
I have not either. So if you're a listener and you like Z Nation, tell us why that's awesome. Last Man on Earth, I tried for half a season and couldn't get into it.
Me too.
I couldn't. I tried to like it, but then it became More Than One Man Left on Earth, and it didn't really work for me. The title,
exactly.
I was kind of like,
you got to change the title. You got to change the title.
Yeah, it could be like Post-Apocalyptic Survivors. I don't know, but
right.
So here's a show that I should like, and for some reason don't. So I've watched
Have you watched it?
Yes, I've watched 2 or 3 episodes of Lucifer, and I really liked it. Nicole and I watched it. The actor playing Lucifer is awesome. It seems just right. He's got these quippy little devil lines, and I don't know. We just didn't. Maybe I think something distracted us or something. Have you tried it yet?
I tried, and I couldn't. I need to use Just Watch, the app.
There you go.
Because I couldn't find it where I wanted to start watching season 1, and I couldn't find it anywhere. So I want to. I don't know when I would have the time to do it, but that is definitely something I want to try.
So 2 seasons of Lucifer are available on Hulu. There you go. See.
All right. Well, there you go. I have.
So that's a good one. So I'm going to have to go watch Lucifer because I want to like that show. Okay. Here's another one I tried. This is actually fun because some of these shows I have tried and have failed to like. So Van Helsing got a 2nd season. It's coming out on October 5th.
That's it.
I tried to watch the 1st season. I think I made it 2 episodes, and Nicole and I bailed. It was very gory. Which
I heard you say that. I think
I like Game of Thrones, so you'd think I'd be okay with this, but it was almost
unnecessarily gory.
Yeah, it didn't. I don't know, and I don't know. It was and it was almost like the vampires were zombies. It was I don't know. They were it was like vampire hordes they were trying to hold off. So the vampires had taken over the world kind of thing, and they were holed up in a basement. This is episode.
Sounds
1.
very much like that anime.
So
that you guys recommended me watch.
Yes. Well, it was kind of like...
Was that Castlevania or Castle something?
But it was more like Walking Dead meets vampires.
Okay.
So I didn't... So that was part of it, too. And the shtick is, she is a Van Helsing, and I think she is sort of like their savior or something, and her blood's a thing. But like I said, I only watched 2 episodes, so...
Right. So you don't really know what the thing is.
I'm sure I'm going to get emails from people.
But that ended up... Well, yeah, but that... you're not saying the whole show sucks.
No, it didn't catch me.
I don't think anybody has a problem with you saying, I watched a couple episodes, and it just didn't keep my interest.
It did not. I wanted to. Now, here's a show that caught me for 5 seasons.
Yeah, me too.
So Once Upon a Time, I only bailed on 2 seasons ago. It's in season 7 now, which I really don't believe.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
But I got through season 5 or so. I stuck with it all the way through them being stuck in Neverland, which was awful. You'd think Neverland would be great, but it was really a lame season.
Yeah. I bailed. I think I bailed at the beginning of that season.
I got through them. I was stuck with them after Neverland. Got through the obligatory Frozen has to show up in the episode. I got through that. But then it just got really dull because the plot was always the same. The villains all became good guys, and then this season, one of the good guy villains will become a bad guy again, right? And they will fight them until they become a good guy again, until the next season, the next person becomes a bad guy, and back and forth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it became
it's a recipe, and it seems to be working for them. But yeah.
It's a soap opera. I couldn't do it. One show my family will watch when it comes back, although it's dangerously close, is Supergirl.
Yeah.
So Supergirl's in October 9th comes back. We really enjoyed the 1st season. Mm-hmm. We mostly enjoyed the 2nd season, although it's getting a little preachy, and it's really turning her into a Clark Kent clone, which she wasn't originally, right? Originally, she was sort of working at a newspaper, which is sort of cloney, but she was not a reporter. Now she's like a full-on reporter, and it's pretty much she's exactly Clark Kent, except she's Supergirl.
Well, that's fun.
And so it's kind of like, I don't know, and all these side plots with her sister and stuff are just kind of dull. I don't know. It's not really working for me anymore, but maybe, I don't know. What do you think? Did you watch it at all?
Never watched it. No,
Okay.
Never been a fan.
What about Flash or Legends of Tomorrow? Did you watch any of those?
Nope.
No, me neither.
I watched the first episode of Legends of Tomorrow and couldn't believe it wasn't a spoof.
I know, right? It was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Speaking, this is not on the list because it already came back, but have you seen any of the Defenders?
I saw all of the Defenders.
What did you think? Now, no spoilers. I'm only in episode 2.
Okay.
But what did you think of the Defenders?
I thought it really underscores who the strong characters in the Netflix Marvel shows are and who is a weaker character.
Yes.
And I really liked it, moments of it when it was focusing on the 3 characters that I am interested in and like.
Yeah.
And then I would say the last episode is good. I enjoy the plot. There's a couple twists at the end and reveals that are really neat. Mm-hmm. But the big final battle is really weird because it was almost like the fight choreographer got bored, couldn't come up with anything new, so like they taped the first half of the fight from different angles while they were fighting it, and then just played those different angles of the same. So it was like the same fight twice.
That's weird.
And it was to the point where and now I'm on record. I love Luke Cage. I love the show. I love the music. I love the culture that the show was steeped in. And in the Defenders, there are moments where each character is being focused on, and it really kind of feels like you're watching their show, including the music and everything.
Right.
But in the big final battle, I think they wanted to have each main character be the focal point of a moment in the battle, right. And they wanted the music to sort of reflect that. But it's a very disjointed feeling when the big final battle suddenly goes to slow motion, but the music shifts to a hardcore rap.
Well,
and it was just really weird. It was like a very, very odd 5 minutes of the finale.
Yeah, they definitely tried to make it stylized. One thing I do like about it, I'm only 2 episodes in, it may get boring and make it old after a while, but I do like the color filter trick they're doing. So like when they're shooting Jessica, all the time. So like when it's a Jessica Jones scene, it's always in blues, and when it's a Luke Cage scene, it's always in yellows, and when it's a Daredevil scene, it's always in red. And it's always. So far, the first
episode, noticed that
shot for shot every scene. It's really cool. It's almost like if you imagine you turn the comic book page, and now the background art's all red, and the next page the background art's all yellow, and it matches their characters, and it's really well done. It's subtle, but when someone tells you it's there, it's like, oh my god, it's in your face.
What color is Iron Fist? Green?
He's green, yeah. Which is his suit. It's actually their main suit color.
Yeah.
And it's
except
really,
that in this show, none of them except Daredevil wear suits.
No, Luke does wear his yellow shirt, which is actually right out of the comic.
Oh, his shirt.
Jessica doesn't really wear blue, but she's kind of a blue mood, so I'll give it to her.
Yeah.
Well, she wears blue jeans, but they all do.
That's true.
But Daredevil's red, and yeah, you're right. Iron Fist does not ever wear his costume, except for like once. So.
It's a reoccurring joke throughout the season,
right?
Making fun of Daredevil because he wears a costume.
Because he wears a costume, right? Which is good. I'm enjoying it so far. We'll see how the end is, but the characters. You're right. It almost doesn't matter that some of them are weaker. I love Jessica Jones. I love Luke Cage, and I love Daredevil, and I love.
And there you go.
Well, that's right. But I also love their supporting cast. Right?
Yo, me too. Absolutely.
So it's really just because there's one weaker guy in there, it doesn't really hurt it too bad. Right. I don't think.
No, that's not what I mean. I don't mean it hurts it, but it is clear.
Yeah,
it's like, oh yeah, my impression was actually
it's a shame.
accurate.
Yeah, it's a shame they couldn't have made him better because it would have been awesome. And it's a shame too because I liked the Iron Fist comic book character. He could have been great.
Right. I don't know anything about the comic, but I've heard you and other people who do say that the character in the TV show is nothing like the comic.
Yeah, I don't know what they're thinking, but anyway, what you do.
But anyway, speaking of other shows that streaming shows that dropped recently, there's The Tick.
Oh,
did you watch The Tick?
I have. What do you think of The Tick?
I'm not a fan.
Okay.
Yeah. It was very clever. There were some really funny lines, but the first 3 episodes have that psychological Fight Club aspect to them that I really didn't enjoy because I kept thinking, does it want me to take it seriously, or is it supposed? So I know the whole goal, because I've read a bunch of articles on it. The whole goal was we're going to make it darker and grittier so that the contrast between that and the humor is more stark. But all I found was I was torn. I was not emotionally light enough to really fully enjoy all the joking and the Tick's bombastic personality, because I kept thinking, what's the darker thing that's going on here? And so that resolves halfway through.
Right. But
by then I'm kind of like, now the tone's sort of been set. So I enjoyed the last 3 episodes a lot more than I enjoyed the first 3. But psychologically, I was sort of disassociated from the whole thing by that point, just because of the way they sort of couch those first 3 episodes.
Yeah, I thought it was. It took itself seriously, but not. It's sort of a way that was they really tried to contrast it, and it took. I watched the first. So we watched it as a family, the first 2 episodes. And right away, I could tell that my oldest daughter and Nicole were like, "This is not really for us." So they only made it 2 episodes, but I was like, I kind of was enjoying it in a weird sort of way because So I kept watching it, and I was sort of enjoying it more and more. My youngest daughter would just hang out in the room, and she started getting into it, started laughing, and more and more. And so she and I are watching it together. We're 1 episode away from being finished. I love the main villain; he's hilarious. And the whole, I think the whole thing is done really well. But you're right; it does have trouble. I don't know if it's even trouble. It just really took a very, it's going to be real. There's this element in the show where you don't know where the Tick is from and how he's there. And I don't want to spoil anything, but you don't really understand.
No, right.
And so it's kind of and that gets your brain into well, where is he from? And as you start to think through the options, it becomes sort of a serious thing, even though it's a, silly farcical comedy in many ways. It's So it is an interesting dichotomy, and I thought that was pretty cool. But you're right; it's dangerously close to not working, or does not work in certain times. So but in the end, the writing is so good, especially near the end, that it doesn't matter.
Yeah, well, and I'm not going to say it's bad. Yeah. I'm going to say that it might just be that it's like a kind of food that I don't enjoy, but I can tell it's well prepared.
There you go.
Or it's not, or because I don't enjoy it, maybe it's not well prepared. So I don't know if it was well prepared or not, because I'm not, it's not really working for me. In those first 3 episodes, I think the last 3 episodes really kind of, they sort of get rid of a lot, at least most of the heavier baggage that sort of weighs it down at the beginning for me.
Yep.
But then I'd be very interested in hearing your thoughts about the finale when you
good.
Get.
Well, we'll talk about it on the main show then. So we're running along, but I want to hit a couple of the shows on the list here. So I'm going to skip the ones we don't care about.
Skip exactly.
Right. So the next one on the list that I care about. So we just talked about Supergirl, Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow. So I'm going to skip ahead till October 14th and Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. Did you ever watch the first season of that?
I can't remember.
Okay. OMG. My family fell in love with this. We loved every minute of it. It was so well done.
I think I did.
Probably the best interpretation of Douglas Adams stuff since Douglas Adams did his own stuff back in radio dramas. So this is really, really good. Highly recommend it, and I can't wait for the second season. I really enjoyed it. And it's funny because I would have argued that Dirk Gently is one of his weaker books, but it works really well in this format.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that one.
Yep. Star Wars Rebels, the final season, is coming out October 16th. Cannot wait for that.
Yeah, I've never watched Rebels. I got to go do that.
You do have to. It's canon, Russ. You have to. It's actually technically part of your contract.
Oh, good. Okay, I'll have to check that out then. Yeah. Walking Dead, we talked about. We're both done with that. I never got into it.
I'm not done, but I'm emotionally checked out.
Okay.
But
here's a show.
Oh, but there we go. October 27th. Put it on your calendar.
Stranger Things, baby. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That show was so good. If you still haven't seen first season of Stranger Things, and I don't know how you couldn't, because it was like everybody talked about it. But go, drop what you're doing, go over to Netflix.
It was bigger than Pokemon Go.
It was bigger than Pokemon Go. So Stranger Things, Netflix original, only available on Netflix. Go watch season 1 on Netflix right now. Go binge it in time for season 2, because wow, what a great show.
Awesome.
It's basically the Goonies fight, in just sort of strange stuff happening in the 80s. Playing D&D, you can't go wrong with that stuff.
And then One of my favorites, Vikings, although they just killed off a whole bunch of main characters, so I don't know where it's going, and I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it. But
so Rose and I are still in season 3, but really enjoying it. Now, but you skipped the show, Craig. So
I did?
I just finished watching Stand Against Evil.
Really?
Have you seen this show?
I don't. That's why I skipped it.
Have you tried it?
No.
Okay. Wait. So Stand Against Evil is the most undersung series from last year. So Stand Against Evil is a Hulu series.
Okay.
And I can't remember the actor's name, but he's fantastic. So do you remember the show Scrubs?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I see him. I just clicked on it. And,
so for our listeners, there was the older doctor on Scrubs who would just constantly berate the interns, right? And he would just had this technique of like just rattling off reasons why the person was an idiot and a moron and a fool, and he just like blurred all the words together. So imagine that guy playing essentially the same character who is a retired cop in a New Hampshire town.
Oh, really?
In a New Hampshire town who, the Bobby Orr episode is quite possibly one of the best episodes ever made on television. But he's in a New Hampshire town, and this town has been cursed by an ancient witch so that all the sheriffs will be killed by supernatural evil. And he doesn't die, so he retires, but the new sheriff is this annoying woman who he doesn't like. Well, she's not that annoying, he just doesn't like her. And evil's constantly showing up, but it's very much Evil Dead. So think of Bruce Campbell in Evil Dead, where every time something crazy happens, he doesn't freak out. He just goes, "Oh, great, here we go again." It's this guy, but he just rattles it off. So you can almost imagine this guy playing a Bruce Campbell character. That's exactly what he's doing.
We got to cut this short then, because I'm going to go watch the first episode.
It's fantastic. Give it at least 2 episodes, and at some point, the producers figure out, or the director figures out, the woman playing Stan's daughter is fantastic. And in the second half of the first season, they really start to leverage her. She is awesome. The characters are great in the show. It's really, really, really funny. It's basically, if you like Army of Darkness and that kind of stuff, you will love Stand Against Evil. It's basically retired cop fights demons in a small town in New Hampshire. That's basically what it is. And somehow, side note, so just for those of you who don't live in the Northeast, it turns out the trees in the Pacific Northwest look nothing like the trees in the Northeast. So when you're watching a show like Once Upon a Time, okay, and that's supposed to take place in Maine, and you can tell it's not Maine because those are trees clearly near Vancouver. Somehow, Stand Against Evil, they actually filmed in the Northeast because the trees look right.
Really?
Yeah, they figured it out. So there you go. And the license plates are correct.
Who knew that you were such a arborist?
I would call it a conifer connoisseur, is what I would say.
There you go.
So, Craig, I'm going to let you go then, because the Dunkin' Donuts guy's about to kick us out, and you've got to go watch Stand Against Evil marathon.
Yep. But ready? Well, here we go. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., kind of. After these, Black Mirror, didn't watch it. Elementary, don't watch it. Into the Badlands, might watch it.
Into the Badlands, I like it. It's good. Watch it.
I'll watch it. The Man in the High Castle, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Falling Water, never heard of it. And Westworld, absolutely.
Absolutely. Also, The Librarian's good for young kids, if you have young kids. My kids are a little old for it now, but it was pretty good for young.
All right. All right, I'm gone. Got to go see Stand Against Evil.
All right. Oh.
Thanks for purchasing a D6G Lost Chapter. Supporting the show helps it grow.